I noticed on a map of the area that the North Fork of the Big Lost River appears to emanate from a small alpine lake simply called North Fork Lake. Thus it was, on the 1st of July, the year of our Lord 2014, I embarked on an expedition to find the headwaters of the Big Lost River. I turned off Trail Creek Road onto the jeep trail that follows the North Fork of the Big Lost and located what appeared to be a trailhead to the lake. My intent was to camp that night near the trailhead and then get an early start hiking up to the lake the following morning. But the trailhead itself did not afford a particularly desirable campsite, so I ended up backtracking a short distance to a grassy turnout where I parked my Ranger, threw a sleeping bag on the ground next to the truck, and built a campfire. I dined that night on hot dogs and corn on the cob roasted over the fire, which is memorable only because it was on this occasion that I discovered the proper technique for toasting hot dog buns over a campfire. Namely, that the pre-roasted hot dog should be placed inside the bun and the whole assembly skewered on a willow shaft so that the bun can then be toasted over the fire without permitting the meat to grow cold. The next morning, I awoke to find a thick layer of frost on the ground as well as over the top of my sleeping bag. After a hasty breakfast of nearly frozen rolls, I drove back to the trailhead and hit the trail. There initially appeared to be a well-defined trail, but only a few hundred yards in it merged with an abandoned logging road, which subsequently faded into oblivion, leaving only a network of meandering game trails from which the foot trail, if it even existed at that point, was utterly indistinguishable. Navigating mostly by dead reckoning with a handheld GPS for backup, I continued up the drainage towards the place where the map had shown the lake. The terrain alternated between dense forest and open clearings, with an abundance of wildflowers. Once in a densely wooded section, I surprised a couple of large animals which went crashing off through the brush before I caught more than a fleeting glimpse of them. I think they were elk, but I can't be sure. After what seemed a rather long ascent, I emerged into a stretch of very scenic alpine meadow through which the outlet of the lake flowed in a rushing stream. The lake itself was a sight to behold. Teal green in color, yet crystal clear, it sparkled like an emerald set in a crown of rugged mountains, still festooned with ribbons of snow. It appeared to have all the prerequisites for sustaining a good population of fish: adequate depth, good inflow and outflow, and signs of insect life that would provide food for trout. But in spite of these qualities, the lake was, to all appearances, devoid of fish. After walking around the lake and eating a late lunch there, I departed back the way I had come. By the time I got back to the truck in the late afternoon, the temperature must have been around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, quite a contrast from the frigid morning.